The following is a paid program, and the views expressed do not necessarily represent the opinions of the management of this station or Pamel Broadcasting.
This is 1 in 31, a presentation from Anderson Center for Autism. 1 in 31 is a weekly show devoted to autism spectrum disorder.
Good morning and welcome to 1 in 31, the weekly broadcast on topics related to autism spectrum disorder. I'm your host, Eliza Bozensky, Chief Development Officer at Anderson Center for Autism. And today I have two guests with me, both of whom are from the Vinayaka Missions Research Foundation in India. We have Richard, who is the Chief Consultant for that organization, and we have Dr. Selvanayaki, who is the Chief of Nursing. And I want to welcome you both to the podcast.
Hello.
Hi.
It's great to have you here. And when I say here, I literally mean that you are here at Anderson right now for a series of weeks where you are continuing some consultation with us that has been ongoing. And we're going to get into all of that and what the Mission Research Foundation is and what you're planning to do. But Richard, if you don't mind, I'd like to start by you kind of talking about how you first became aware of Anderson and what your first experience was with our organization.
All right. Back in 2016, so back in my college days, while graduating, I had my research thesis. My research thesis was on music therapy on kids on the autism spectrum.
Mm-hmm.
So that's exactly why I was driven into this whole field and the population of autism. Now, after completing it, I want to explore more into the field of autism. That's why I was working in a mental health institute back in India, caretaking people on a lot of mental health issues. So back in India, you see, when we say mental health, it's a broad spectrum. So we have autism, we have bipolar, we have ADHD, we have Down syndrome, cerebral palsy. So we're trying to move into more divergent understanding of how this program works. So while I was trying to concentrate and specialize myself into the autism because I was quite fascinated because of my theses and all the, kids on the spectrum really is good in music and in mathematics. That really took my attention. And I was really thinking like, wow, this is really, really amazing. So that a lot of exploration that I started going and I started understanding what are the facilities that is available around that I'll be able to access and tap into this. So that's exactly where my search began. And as I keep searching about it, so one of my friends named 2G,
Yes.
who was also Anderson's international fellow, referred to me stating that, hey, why don't you try something here? So immediately I sent an email stating that, oh, I did this, I studied this, and I worked on this. Would it be possible for me to come and work? And Anderson being so graceful to me, they immediately reached out saying that, oh, good, so nice. So we'll work on your project and the program and we'll execute it. So it kind of took 1.5 years for me. We were just having a lot of emails back and forth, trying to have a conversation. And then by 2018, Anderson said that I can come to Anderson for the international program. So that's how I came to Anderson Center as an international fellow. It was 1 year of hands-on experience training. Wow. I really have to say that really, really made me understand what and how the entire program here's. So back in India and other developing countries, autism is something that is being notified now.
Mm-hmm.
But not to the extent of statistics, research, and the other basis that goes behind it. So recently we had a statistics that says 1 in 68 is diagnosed for autism in India. But going back, the statistics are very blurry for us because we were trying to pertain the overall East, trying to understand from the statistics what London has given 1 in 100. So we've been focusing on that for quite some lot of time. But now the people who's trying to understand what autism and how to, what to, and where to give the proper therapy process, to how to give the nurturing kind, we refer to as an invisible disability, because this is something that we don't identify as a disability, but something that can be worked it out. And a lot of the big people, I mean, there's a lot of research papers that I studied that the best mathematicians, scientists, and musicians, most of them had autism spectrum. And I was like, we are in their field.
Yes. Yeah, there's a lot to be learned, all around
Yes, exactly.
from everybody.
So this really kind of helped me to come back to Anderson, learn a lot of things over here. When I say a lot, it's really a lot. Understanding, working in a very dignified program, being that, giving that quality to the individuals, addressing them, understanding them, and the most beautiful thing here is the entire program is developed on evidence-based science.
Yes.
There's a huge scientific backing up this entire program, telling that this is the best. So this is something that back in India during that time, it was just evolving and not many of the people. So this really gave me a big heads up. So I went back to India. I was really on like, okay, let me see who are the other people who was working in evidence-based programs and what's happening and who are the people. So I kind of understood that individuals on autism are there, but they are all dispersed. They are all part of facilities where it's a multidisciplinary team. So we have autism along with cerebral palsy, along with Down syndrome, along with bipolar. So most of the organizations, they do medical care, but they don't do a care program like how Anderson works on their day-to-day basis, giving a quality of life, understanding this process. Now, this is something that really took me to the point that I have to do something about this. I really need to work hard in this area.
Okay.
So I tried contacting a lot of people, trying to connect with people. So by the time when I was here in Anderson, I also completed my behavior course. So I was a registered behavior technician by then. And then when I had moved back to India, I did my BCBA courses. So coming from a background of psychology, I started giving a lot of therapeutic program to individuals on autism, meeting a lot of families, a lot of people. I was trying to catch up, day by day, 1, 2, 3, 4. It started increasing, and people started noticing it. All right, something autism here. Let's go there. And this was quick because we were giving results based on the evidence-based therapeutic program and how Anderson described and the intervention programs, the modules that consistently that we have studied. Now people started notifying and understanding it. During the same time, which Vinayaka Mission Anderson, Vinayaka Missions Research Foundations, chairman, Dr. Sharvanan, who had come to America seeking for which is the best autism facility. So Anderson immediately connected me to him. Oh, that was a boy from India. He's gone back and he's doing all of this. And then immediately he contacted me and emailed me. And then we both all right, agreed upon, let's catch up and let's have a discussion together. So we both sat and we started asking each other's questions and what is your vision, what you want to do. So immediately I was like, I want to do something like what Anderson is doing back in India, having a residential program and giving the quality of life for that individual, that the individual would enjoy their life to the fullest. And then he said, yes, that's exactly what I want to do. And we both connected and then we started doing a lot of work together and we started building this whole project in Premium. And that's exactly we said, all right, now that we want to do it big time and we want help. And what shall we do? Let's go back to Anderson. And then immediately we caught up with Anderson and he said, listen, this is the idea. This is the focus that we are trying to do. Shall we? And immediately Anderson said, yes, let's make it international.
That is so. Thank you for the backstory, Richard. That's it is quite a full circle moment, I think, for you. I can imagine. For us, certainly, that's what everybody's buzzing about is just to have you back. First of all, I can see it as I walk around campus and see you being here and interacting with people that you had met back in 2016 and are reconnecting with. So I think that there's both a professional and a personal reconnection happening, which is beautiful to see. And we're just so excited to be in this position of really, this is a fantastic example of the goal that Anderson Center International has been striving for since its inception, is really the idea that not only would scholars come here and train and learn and then go back to their countries and affect change, but the idea that now there is this mutual relationship that's going to be long term moving forward and impacting the lives of so many people is super exciting.
Yes.
We're going to take a short break in just a minute, but I want to give your partner here, Dr. Selvanayaki, just a chance to say, when did you come into this picture with Richard? Had you worked with him before, or did you connect when Richard connected with the Mission Foundation?
Yeah, well, actually, 2021, I entered into this area. I was working as principal, head of the institution in nursing college, which is coming under the Vinayaka Mission Research Foundation deemed to be university. Once my Dr. Saravanan, my MD, has called and he discussed about this autism disorder, and he asked whether you were interested in this field. Will you be able to work in this, or are you interested? Actually, I didn't know anything regarding this autism, so I just frankly, to be frank, I told him that I don't know anything. Zero on this autism, zero knowledge, so I don't know anything how to work and what it is and everything. I don't know. Then he told that there is a person called Richard. He is there working on this, so you can join him. So he will make you to understand in all the aspects of autism disorder. Then immediately he arranged for a meeting with Richard, and we met both of us, and we had a discussion regarding this autism. And then after that, we have selected a group or one team for this autism training, and for that team, he has given some training for the team. Around 3 months, he has given training for the team. So during that time, I was also there presented, and I have observed that what it is and how the training is going on, especially skipper techniques and all. Really, it was really good. Where slowly I came to understand that this is something different, the autism, because it is like neurodevelopmental as well as behavioral development disorder will be there in this. So this is not like mental health disorder. So I was able to differentiate between this and that. So then slowly I came into this field, and so I'm learning something regarding this autism center. That's it.
That's great. That was something I didn't get the chance to ask you about the other day when we were talking. So I was curious how the two of you met. It's very exciting. And this, again, is just a great example of what we're trying to do and hoping to do here in this case. And then, additional places in the future is this. We recognize how much expertise we've developed over the 100 years that we've been open and serving people. And we want to get that knowledge out to really all corners of the globe, because there are so many people who will benefit. So it's wonderful having partners like the two of you. We are going to take a short break, but when we come back, I'm going to ask you to talk about the program that you are in the process of actually developing, and, describe to us who you're planning on serving and what your goals are for that program. All right. This is 1 in 31, the weekly talk show on topics related to autism spectrum disorder. I'm your host, Eliza Bozensky. We'll be right back.
If you're talking, they will hear you.
We all want our kids to grow up safe and healthy, so we show them how. And we tell them with honest conversations that let them know what we expect. Not just one time, but every chance we get. That's especially important when it comes to alcohol and other drugs. Kids not only need to know the dangers and how to avoid them, they need to hear it often from you. And when it comes to pain medications, opioids, they need to know that they should never be taken without a prescription and never shared with friends or family. It's dangerous and illegal. So talk with your kids and guide them through the challenges of growing up safe and healthy. Because when you talk, they hear you. For more information about talking with your kids about underage use of alcohol and other drugs, visit underagedrinking.samhsa.gov.
So talk, they hear you. You can do it if you try.
And now 1 in 31 continues on 100.7 WHUD. This is a weekly community affairs presentation from the Anderson Center for Autism.
Welcome back to 1 in 31, the weekly talk show on topics related to autism spectrum disorder. I'm your host, Eliza Bozensky, Chief Development Officer at Anderson Center for Autism, and I'm talking today with Richard, Chief Consultant, and Dr. Selvanayaki, Chief of Nursing at Vinayaka Missions Research Foundation. And I apologize if I got that name wrong. I'm doing my best. But these are our wonderful visitors from India over the course of the next couple of weeks. And Richard, thank you for again going over your history with Anderson and Dr. Selvanayaki, your connection to Anderson kind of via Richard and your connection to him. I will say, I've been working at Anderson for 20 years now. And when I first started here, I really did not know a whole lot about autism. My passion was people and families and a nonprofit organization that was making an impact. And so I think it takes a lot more of that passion combined with expertise and statistics and knowledge and clinical understanding, but you need it all to make a really good program. So I'm with you on that, and I too have learned a lot here. Let's jump into the program that you are developing, which is the Vinayaka Anderson Center for Autism project, right? And this is a residential program to serve adults.
Yes.
Did I get that? Okay. I'm going to leave my knowledge there. And Richard, why don't you pick up and tell us more about what this project is and what the program is going to look like and all about it.
All right. So India having a population of 3.8 billion, we are trying to understand. So when we say 1 in 68, we are talking about over 10 million population. So that's kind of like huge number that we are trying to hit. And also in India right now, we have an understanding of early development, where we try to understand an early development disorder, so something that is being understood and identified in a very early age. Then we have the early intervention program. So we could see most of the schools and a lot of families are trying to get into that process because they're trying to, like I said, in India now the understanding of autism is developing. So everybody's trying to all right, something is not okay. We need to check. And the pediatricians are able to understand it and able to define it. And the diagnosis comes and then all right, then they start the therapeutic program, they start, et cetera, et cetera. Now these are all accessed by the kids. When we start identifying what about the adults, what's happening to them, where are they? We are not able to see them in our society, not outside. We don't do anything. So the question raised. And then we did a small research and we kind of understood that most of the adults are just left inside the houses.
Which I have to say, maybe things are a little bit different here in the United States, but the same drop-off point of once you're out of school, people describe it to me as falling off a cliff.
Yes.
You've worked so hard to
Yes.
get the services in the school program that are helping your child thrive
Yes.
and do well. And then all of a sudden, somehow at 18 or 21 or 22, it's like there's nothing.
Yes.
And so I would imagine it's similar or even worse what
Yes.
you're talking about. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So
Go on.
So that's exactly where we want to put a strike. So then we kind of understood that let's start the program on a residential focus for the adults. So we're trying to develop a module on the adult residential program,
Okay.
which we are trying to focus on age group from 14 to 25.
Okay, so young adults, right?
Yes. So now that we wanted to do this program, we started brainstorming on what to do, how to build, what to do. So that's exactly where the science comes back again. We know Anderson's housing modules are mostly designed in a scientific way to bring down a lot of behaviors. So then again, we had to help and Anderson, please help us. So we told them all of these details and immediately Anderson did, let's do a training program on this.
Yeah.
So we have working on a management training program of how to understand the entire functioning of the program and identifying the structural program. So we would take it back to India and then we would start establishing the same structure back in India, making a mini Anderson program like process. That's exactly why we came up with the word Vinayaka Anderson Center for Autism.
That's great. I can't wait to see it, in a sign somewhere. But so to me, you're already really off on the right foot in terms of not just consulting with us, because I love this organization and I think that, we again have so much collective expertise,
Yes.
but more so you're looking at the types of things that really do make a difference. And I think, sometimes you can err on the side of only thinking about program delivery or services that are being provided, but you're already thinking about environment,
Yes.
types of structures. It is very important because there's a lot of sensory sensitivities, noise sensitivities.
Yes.
There's a sense of calm and security that can come from the type of space that you're sitting in or trying to learn in. Is your program also going to have a component of like continuing education or continuing to teach independent skills to enhance the quality of life for the 14 to 25-year-olds?
Yes. The program also has an education in blind in it, and we also have a skill development program, and we have also a vocational development program, and we are going to bring it to the community over there. So we have a huge campus that the entire program is going to be implemented, just like how Anderson is called, Rhinebeck is called the
Autism Supportive Community.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
Autism Supportive Community. We trying to bring the same program back there. So you see, Vinayaka Research Foundation, Missions Foundation, is a really big organization that has a medical college, an engineering college, a school of law, school of nursing, etc., etc. They have lots. So we have a huge campus over there. We're trying to embed and bringing the whole advancement in medical and trying to focus autism into the spectrum, where we are trying to take the idea to the heart, and we're going to implant it right over there so that the professionals of doctors, nurses, education students, and all these staff is completely going to understand this process. And we're going to bring an entire institution as autism friendly program for them.
It's wonderful. It's wonderful. And one last question, because we're running low on time. Generally speaking, when you're back in India and you're talking to colleagues and friends and family members, or just people in the public who are learning about this plan and your program, what is their reaction overall? Is there a sense of positivity? Is there a sense of, I'm not sure what this is going to really be like, I don't know how to respond? What are you feeling from the community and from society as a whole?
It's actually a really nice question, because most of the time I give this feedback or the information, the details. The first thing is there's a big relief for them. It's like, finally.
Oh, great.
Yes. And then they would like, thank God this has come, because everybody's idea and vision is that, can somebody do something like this for my child or for my daughter or for my son? Because my son has become big now. We just don't know what to do, how to do everything. So there's a lot of information that we have shared with few people and with the society of people. The first thing is they are in a big relief, like, thankfully, this is going to help my family in this process, and they're more happy about it.
That's wonderful. And I would assume that's a big part of your goal. So
it is.
Isn't that great when what you're doing is received in the way that you're hoping it will be received by the people who will be impacted? That's great to hear. That makes me really happy. We only have less than a minute left in our conversation today. Is there any sort of parting words that you want to say to anybody listening, or things that you would like them to maybe go see, a website or anything that you'd like to share?
You could identify Vinayaka Missions Research Foundation at vinayakamissionsresearchfoundation.edu.
Okay, great. And when we post this podcast interview, we'll include that link, so anybody who's listening online can easily access the link and get more information. Richard and Dr. Selvanayaki, it's incredible to have you here. We feel very lucky and very appreciative that you've chosen to come back and to work with Anderson Center. And we're really excited about what the future holds. So thank you so much for your time and all of your information, and really, most especially, for your passion for what you do. It is going to help a lot of people.
Thank you so much.
This is 1 in 31, the weekly talk show on topics related to autism spectrum disorder. I'm your host, Eliza Bozensky, and remember, Anderson cares.
You've been listening to 1 in 31, a weekly presentation from Anderson Center for Autism. Join them for another edition of the show next weekend.